Hi guys, that's me Mohammed Hamza Tariq with the roll number 250079 and I'm here to present on the topic reflecting on enjoying the vegetable garden. In this presentation, I will talk about the children's learning experience called enjoying the vegetable garden. This experience gave the children many opportunities to explore, discover and learn in a real and meaningful way. In the garden, the children were active, curious and fully engaged with their surroundings. They touched the soil, cared for the plants, and observed how vegetables grow, which helped them learn through hands-on play. I will also explain the different types of learning that took place and describe the behaviors and actions were observed. These observations help us understand that the children learned, how they learned it, and what outcomes did they achieve. I will also connect those outcomes to the early years learning framework EYLF V2.0, showing how the experience supports children's development, well-being, and sense of connection with the nature. Overall, this presentation offers a reflective lens on the benefits of outdoor learning and highlights how garden experiences encourage children to participate, think, communicate, and build confidence in a natural setting. In this slide, I will focus on the children's own voices and how they reflected on their learning during enjoying the vegetable garden experience. Their comments give us direct evidence of what they were thinking, feeling, and understanding while working in the garden. For example, when a child says, I grew this myself, it showed a strong sense of pride and ownership. This tells us that a child recognized their own effort and felt confident about their growing skills. Another child said, we need to give it water every day, which shows an understanding of responsibility and needs of living things. This statement reflects how children develop agency when they take on a caring role. The comment, it feels squishy, but that's good for the plant, highlights how children connect sensory experiences with new knowledge. It shows they are observing, thinking, and making sense of what they feel. Altogether, these voices help us understand the depth of learning happening through simple garden activities. In this slide, I will explain how the vegetable garden created many rich learning opportunities for the children. The garden was just not a place to grow plants, it became a space where the children could explore, ask questions, and work together. One of the key parts of this learning was sensory engagement. The children touched the soil, smelled the plants, and observed colors and shapes. These sensory experiences help them connect more deeply with nature and understand it in a real hands-on way. Another important element was inquiry and problem solving. Children often asked questions like why isn't this growing or what does this plant need? Such questions encourage them to think critically and look for solutions together. This kind of inquiry supports early scientific thinking. Finally, the garden also supported collaboration and communication. Children shared tools, discussed what they observed, and helped each other with tasks. These interactions strengthened their social skills, built confidence, and supported language development. Overall, the garden brought learning to life through meaningful action and teamwork. In this slide, I will talk about the key learning that the children gained from their time in their vegetable garden. Beyond simply growing vegetables, the garden helped the children understand many important ideas and skills. One big area of learning was sustainability. The children learned about the cycle of growth and why it is important to care for plants and the environment. They also began to understand that resources like water and soil need to be used responsibly. Another important learning area was scientific knowledge. Through observing the plants, the children explored life cycles, soil types, and the role of sunlight and water. These hands-on experience helped them build early science skills in a natural and a meaningful way. The garden also supported social and emotional development. As children waited for plants to grow, they learned patience. By working together, sharing tools, helping each other, and celebrating the results, they developed cooperation, empathy, and a sense of shared achievement. Overall, the garden experience supported whole child learning across multiple domains. Measuring growth, evidence learning outcomes. In this slide, I will explain how we identified and confirmed the learning outcomes that emerged from the garden experience. To do this, we looked carefully at the children's behaviors, their spoken words, and the ways they used their knowledge. These observations helped us understand not only what they learned, but also how deeply they understood the experience. First, we noticed several observable behaviors. Children were watering plants independently, identifying different vegetables, and showing gentle care when they were handling seedlings. These actions clearly showed responsibility, confidence, and growing practical skills. Now we collected verbal evidence. Children talked about what plants need to grow, explained why they chose certain tools, and described the taste and texture of vegetables they harvested. Their words show real understanding and thoughtful reflection. Finally, we saw demonstration of outcomes when children applied their learning in a new way. For example, some suggested how to look after indoor plants, while others drew detailed pictures of roots, leaves, and stems. These examples showed that the learning outcomes were successfully achieved. Cultivating curiosity and by extending garden learning. In this slide, I will talk about how the garden experience can be extended into new learning opportunities. The vegetable garden is not just a single activity, it opens many pathways for deeper exploration and connects easily to different curriculum areas. By extending the experience, we help children build a stronger understanding of the world around them. One way to extend the learning is through cooking and nutrition. Children can use harvested vegetables to prepare simple dishes, which teaches them healthy eating habits and practical life skills. This also helps them feel proud of using ingredients they grew themselves. Another extension is art and documentation. Children can create plant journals, draw what they observe, or make collages with natural materials from the garden. These activities support creativity, fine motor skills, and careful observation. We can also include STEM extensions. Children might look at the plant structures under a microscope, build small irrigation systems, or measure plants' growth over time. These activities encourage early science, technology, engineering, and maths thinking. Enhancing the experience, additional resources. In this slide, I will explain how adding specific resources can greatly enrich the children's gardening learning experience. These resources help deepen their understanding, sport curiosity, and make the activities more meaningful and engaging. To begin, child-friendly tools such as small shovels, trowels, watering cans, and gloves allow children to participate safely and confidently. The right tools empower them to take real responsibility in caring for garden. Seed and plant guides are also helpful because they give children simple visuals to identify different seeds, plant types, and the stages of growth. For closer investigation, microscopes and magnifying glasses let children observe soil, insects, and plant parts in more detail, encouraging specific thinking. Visual study boards can be used to show steps for plant care or the full life cycle of a plant, helping children understand processes clearly. Including storybooks about gardening and food origins odds literacy connections, while cultural resources let children explore gardening practices from different cultures in the community. This supports inclusion, diversity, and a richer understanding of the world. In this slide, I will explain how enjoying the vegetable garden experience aligns with several important elements of the national quality standards, showing that the program supports high quality early childhood practice. First, the experience strongly supports QA educational program and practice. QA1, the educational program and practice. The garden encouraged active learning, natural inquiry, and responded directly to children's interests. It allows educators to follow the children's ideas and extend learning meaningfully. Next, the garden connects well with QA2, children's health and safety. Through gardening, children engaged in physical activity, learned about healthy eating, and participated safely with tools and plants under supervision. This promoted both well-being and safe behavior. This experience also aligns with Q3, which is physical environment. The outdoor space was stimulating, natural and carefully maintained, offering a rich environment where children could explore, experiment, and feel connected to nature. Finally, the garden supported QF5 relationships with children. Working together encouraged cooperation, positive interactions, and a strong sense of belonging as children shared tasks and celebrated achievements. Overall, the garden experience clearly reflects key NQS priorities. In this slide, I will explain how the vegetable garden experience reflects the core ideas of EYLFV 2.0, showing the strong connection between principles, practices, and the planning cycle. The garden activity is a good example of intentional teaching. Educators planned the garden space carefully, selected meaningful activities, and guided children so they could explore, ask questions, and learn through hands-on experience. The experience also demonstrated responsiveness to children. Educators paid close attention to the children's curiosity and interests. When children showed enthusiasm for watering plants or asked questions about growth, the activities were adopted to support and extend their learning. Another key part is sustainability practice. By working directly with nature, children learned how to care for the environment. This helped build an early environmental awareness and encouraged children to become responsible stewards of the natural world. Finally, the garden supported the planning cycle, evaluate, reflecting on the children's progress and outcomes allowed educators to plan for future experience and make improvements. This ongoing process ensures high quality learning. In this slide, I will reflect on the overall value of the enjoying the vegetable garden experience. Throughout the project, the children were deeply engaged, curious, and enthusiastic learners. The garden offered them meaningful hands-on opportunities to explore nature, build new skills, and develop confidence. This reflection highlights how powerful nature-based education can be in early childhood settings, supporting learning across all developmental areas. Looking forward, we are committed to future improvements. We hope to introduce a wider variety of plant species, invite community gardeners to share their knowledge, expand cooking activities using the vegetables grown by the children. These additions will help enrich the program even further. We also aim to continue our professional growth. This includes documenting children's voices, capturing visible learning, and refining our intentional teaching strategies to better support every child's development. Overall, the ongoing process of observing, engaging, and reflecting helps us grow as educators while supporting the children's learning journey in a meaningful and lasting ways. This slide shows all the references that are used in making this presentation and project. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. Bye.